I want to speak for just a moment specifically to my Latino community. It saddens me that we even have to qualify these remarks, because I understand, or at least have attempted to understand through your voices, your concern, your fear, your anger. This information in no way is meant to disparage or to condone or support or agree with any of the actions that occurred yesterday. But it is important that we stay committed to the rule of law, that we stay committed to the facts, that we stay a trustworthy and legitimate police department for all of Portlanders.
Just look at this. A major American city is flatlining, caught in a death spiral. And what do we get from the guy in charge of keeping the peace? Tears. But don't get it twisted. Portland Police Chief Bob Day isn't crying for the families living in fear or the victims of street violence. No, he's getting choked up for the very community that's acting as a petri dish for a violent foreign syndicate. It's a total upside-down world where the badge weeps for the lawbreaker and leaves the taxpayer out in the cold. Is this what leadership looks like in 2026? We're starting things off in the Pacific Northwest, specifically Portland, Oregon. This place used to be the crown jewel of the coast, but now it's basically ground zero for the expansion of Tren de Aragua. This isn't your neighborhood street gang. This is a Venezuelan criminal machine that's ripped through our borders with terrifying speed, setting up shop right in your backyard. Back in July of 2025, the mask finally slipped when a shooting blew the lid off an illicit ring running wild in the city. Make no mistake, this wasn't just some random local crime. It was a calling card. It was a message from a transnational threat telling us they're here to stay. Things got so bad that federal agents from Customs and Border Protection finally had to step in and do the job local politicians wouldn't. It all came to a head on January 8th in a high-stakes operation where agents had to move fast to stop suspected gang members. These two, Luis David Nico Moncada and Yorlenis Betzabet Zambrano Contreras, are the faces of a border policy that's completely fallen apart. You can feel the tension in the air. This isn't some distant problem anymore. Foreign gang warfare has officially arrived on the American doorstep. We're watching a straight-up collision between the rule of law and the people trying to tear it down from the inside. On January 9th, the people of Portland, and the rest of the country, tuned in expecting to see some backbone from Police Chief Bob Day. They wanted clarity. They wanted a plan. What they got instead was a performance that has people's jaws on the floor. Standing there behind a forest of microphones draped in the authority of the Portland Police Bureau, Chief Day started talking about the fallout from that federal operation. But when it came time to address the loss of life, the man just folded. The chief of police, the guy who's supposed to be the literal shield for every citizen in that city, just broke down. He stopped. He looked down at the floor. He actually pulled out a tissue to wipe tears from his eyes. His voice was cracking, dripping with deep emotion as he talked about the fear in the community. Now, he tried to play it both ways, saying he wanted understanding without condoning illegal acts. But let's be real about the optics here. In the one moment where the city needed a leader to stand tall and project strength, they got a man who looked completely rattled. He seemed way more concerned with the feelings of a specific group than with the cold, hard reality of a gang crisis. This kind of re-education of our public officials is exactly why people are losing sleep. They want a protector, not a therapist. The backlash from the American public, it was fast and it was brutal. Social media didn't just react, it exploded. People are asking the one question that matters. Where were these tears for the American victims of this border mess? Critics are pointing straight at the lives we've already lost. People like Laken Riley and so many others whose lives were cut short by people who shouldn't have been here in the first place. Across the heartland, the feeling isn't just anger, it's a sense of total betrayal. To a lot of people, watching Chief Day get overwhelmed like that is a slap in the face. It shows a complete shift in what law enforcement cares about. Now, the knives are out. There are massive calls for him to hand in his badge immediately. Protesters are already swarming Portland's ICE facility. Their point is simple. When a leader starts weeping for the environment that feeds foreign gangs instead of the citizens who are being victimized by them, the department has lost its way. This is a massive moment of truth. It's shining a spotlight on the huge divide in how this country handles its biggest failures. People are done with the vulnerability acts. They want the badge to stand for what it used to: unwavering, unshakable resolve. What happened in Portland isn't just a one-off fluke. It's a symptom. It's a sign that our institutions are being conditioned to care more about the feelings of the people causing the chaos than the safety of the people paying the bills. Let's be clear. The spread of Tren de Aragua is a verified, documented threat to our national stability. When the people at the top show weakness instead of a spine, it's a green light for anyone who wants to dismantle our way of life. The investigation is still moving, but the trust? That might be gone for good. While the feds are trying to actually stop these threats, they're running into local officials who seem more worried about how things look on the news than actually enforcing the law. You have to ask yourself, what happens to a republic when the people hired to protect it lose the will to stand their ground? The answer is written all over the streets of Portland. Those tears from the chief, they've become a symbol of a nation that's backing down. We're going to stay on top of this scandal as the roar for accountability gets louder across the country.